Hey, this is a math lesson for Thursday, January 6th, lesson 49. Before we start it, don't look at what it's about. You know how we go in groups and we do things. See if you can solve this problem right here. 1.24 or 1 and 24 hundredths over 0.4 or 4 tenths. Pause the video right now, see if you can figure that out. Okay, now that you've unpaused the video, hopefully what you remembered was that when we write something like this like a fraction, if I had 2/3, that really means 2 divided by 3. So in this case, it really means 1.24 divided by 0.4, but we have an issue there. Okay, 1.24 divided by 0.4. The issue is we cannot have a decimal in the divisor. If there's a decimal in the dividend, that's okay. That's totally no problem. If it was like that, okay? If we're going 1.24 divided by 4, okay? But when we have that, we have a problem. We can't do that. So how do we get it out of there? Well, remember earlier when we had a math assignment where we were talking about as long as you do something the same to both the divisor and the dividend, it doesn't change the answer. For instance, if we had 12 divided by 4, that would equal 3, right? But if you did something to both of those beforehand, would the answer still be 3? Like, if I divided both of these by 2, so I divided 12 by 2, making that 6, and divided the 4 by 2, making that a 2, the answer is still 3. Okay? Now that we know that, now that we can manipulate both of them, as long as we do it the same way, it doesn't change the answer, then we can do that over here. In fact, all we need to do here to get rid of that decimal is to multiply it by 10. Because remember, when we multiply by 10, we don't add a 0. When we multiply by 10, we move it one decimal place larger. Well, if we did that here, multiplied that by 10, that would move it one decimal place larger, in essence getting rid of it. As long as we did the same thing over here. We multiplied this thing by 10. Okay, now my new problem is, that decimal's there, 12.4 divided by, see that decimal's there, 4. It makes it quite simple. Now all I do is I put my decimal up right away, first things first, and then I just treat it like a normal division problem. 4 going into 1, no, 4 goes into 12, 3 times 4 is, 12, pretty messy. 0 bring down the 4, 4 goes into 4 once, 3.1 or 3 1/10. Okay? You can do that on any one of these. So I'll use example number 2 out of the book. In fact, I'll write this up. You pause it, see if you can do it, all right? Here's example 2 from the book. It is 1.44 divided by 0.6. Pause, do that yourself, and then turn it back on. Okay, now that you've unpaused it, we multiplied this side by 10 to get that out of there. That means that's okay as long as we do this one by 10. So my new problem is 14.4, see, went to there, divided by 6. Okay? Get rid of that. Decimal goes up right away. And I just treat it like a normal division problem. 6 goes into 1, 6 goes into 14 twice. 2, bring down the 4. 6 goes into 24 4 times. 2.4 or 2 4/10. It wouldn't have changed the answer as long as I multiplied both of them by the same number, in this case 10. Now, if this had been a problem that looked like this originally, instead of that, it was like that, then I would multiply it by 100, because that would make it go 1, 2, and 1, 2. and my new problem be 144 divided by 6. Okay? Pretty simple to get rid of it. All you got to do is multiply both of them by the same number. All right, that is the topic for lesson 49. Got a bunch of great problem solving or practice set problems. And when you look for the assignment online, I'll probably incorporate those practice set problems into the actual assignment. All right, let me know if you have any questions. Again, text me. I've emailed you that number. That usually works best.